As we begin multiplying two-digit by two-digit numbers, let's first practice on our place value chart so that we can see exactly where our numbers are going and why they are changing place values. Our first problem is 30 times 20. These numbers could be difficult to multiply, so I'm going to break them up into smaller numbers that might be easier to work with. So if I think of some other ways I could express 30 times 20, one of those ways could be 3 tens times 2 tens, or I could write 10 times 20 times 3. That's equivalent to 3 times 20. Now I can place these numbers on my place value chart. I'm first going to focus on 10 times 20. So if I'm just multiplying 20 by 10, I'm going to put 2 in the tens place to represent 20. And I've already learned this year that anytime I multiply a number by 10, it just shifts over 1 on the place value chart. So I'm just going to move those two place value discs into the hundreds place. So I've done 10 times 20. Now all I have to do is multiply by 3. So I need 3 sets of 2 in total. So I will add. So I have 1 set of 2, 2 sets of 2, and 3 sets of 2. So I multiplied by 3. Now if I count up how many discs I have in the hundreds place, I have 2, 4, 6. So my final answer is 600. Another strategy we can use to solve two-digit by two-digit numbers is using an area model. In this problem, we have 50 times 40. So I'm going to draw an area model and label it 50 on one side and 40 on the other. So what this was representing is 50 times 40. So I should be thinking that I have 5 tens at times 4 tens. So a trick we've used in class is to cover up those 2 zeros so that all we can see is that 5 times 4. And I know 5 times 4 is 20. So that's what I'm going to write down first. Now if I pick up my fingers and see how many zeros that I covered up 2 zeros and I need to put those 2 zeros back. So now I have an answer of 2,000. Let's try that again with 60 times 30. Again, I'm going to draw my area model to represent 60 times 30. And really what I can think is 6 tens times 3 tens. And if all I think about is 6 times 3, that makes this problem a little easier because I know 6 times 3 is 18. Then if I look at how many zeros are in this problem, I have 1, 2, and I can add that to my answer. I know 60 times 30 is 1,800. As we begin going further into 4th grade, we are going to begin seeing equations using parentheses. We've talked about in class that when we see parentheses, those are the steps we need to do first. In the following problem, it says, represent the following problem by drawing discs in the place value chart. To solve 20 times 40, think. And we see the use of parentheses here. So we can think 2 tens times 4 couldn't go first. And 2 tens times 4, if I put that on my chart, I have 2 tens, and I'm multiplying by 4, so I need 4 sets total. So there's 1 set, 2nd set, 3rd set, and a fourth set. So now I've done the multiplication. Now if I multiply those 4 sets of 2 tens by 10, all I have to do is shift all sets over into the hundreds place, because anytime we multiply by 10, our number gets put in the next largest place value. So it moves to the hundreds. Now if I count up how many I have 2, 4, 6, 8. So my answer is 800. This should be the same no matter what 2 problems we do first. In the next line, they put 4 times 10 together. 4 times 10 is 40. And now I have 40 times 20. If I think 2 tens times 4 tens, 2 times 4 is 8. And if I add my 2 zeros, I still get 800. In the last problem, if we just think 20 times 40, same steps, 2 tens times 4 tens, 2 times 4 is 8, and adding my 2 zeros to my answer.